Convenient.
So what is that? Can we zoom on that?
Yeah, go ahead and zoom. I was just
Wasn't
thinking of
there
more
an elephant
useless
with that?
superpowers.
Yeah.
C-pen.
C-pen?
Oh.
Very
Huh?
cool.
C-pin?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
That's a black coral.
Yeah,
We don't know what that is. Can we think we can sample it?
Yep, come wide, please.
Coming wide.
Very cool.
Full wide.
We know it's in the genus
Start going up slope
Schizopathes,
here
though,
now.
but I'll write it in the chat for folks.
All right, thanks.
Schizopathes. Cool. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I was like, it looks like a black coral. All right, we're going to sample this guy.
It's little.
All right, zoom in, please, Wayne.
Zooming in.
Where am I going to put this puppy?
Let me see.
Anywhere on the starboard side?
Starboard C. Or A or B, because those are rocks. I guess we can.
Okay.
If you think it's gonna be too floaty, you can put it in C.
It's probably going to be floaty.
Dredging.
Yeah, let's put it in C
Floaty
then.
eye.
Yeah, that's perfect. 'Cause that's. I wanted to see what the texture of the
Oh, no.
bottom was, and that's very sandy.
I missed. It's not connected.
What?
Get
Huh?
out of here. Come back. Oh no.
Slurp.
Yeah, I might have to. Can I slurp it, Steve?
Go for it if you can.
Okay, maybe that's what I'll do.
How many turns you got in the slurp?
Can you set up my slurp cameras, please?
Coming wide.
How many, what do I have in the slurp?
How many hard turns do you have in it?
A few. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I might get a little bit bashed.
Let me get.
Eh,
You gonna slurp it?
I wanted to catch it from going away first. Come back. Okay, now I can grab it here.
That's amazing, Trevor. I mean, you just like flicked it up in the air
Play
and
catch with
grabbed
coral.
it.
Fun fact about these guys is that they actually aren't attached. I should have mentioned that earlier, but they form like a hook-like projection of the sediment, and you can actually sometimes tell what the currents are doing
Sorry, Steve,
based
I
on
gotta
how
interrupt
these
you
things
based
are
on
pointed.
timing here. Where am I going with this? Which slurp jar?
Anything but one.
Okay,
Two.
am I lined up?
This one?
It's
on
in a
7.
7 there.
Okay, 7.
Okay, go ahead and turn it on to 40%. We'll try that first. Yeah. Okay, 50.
See its anchor sticking out,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to overcome that to make the turns.
Yeah. Okay, maybe this is not going to work. Poor coral. Come wide, please.
Coming
Or
wide.
a little bit wide. Yeah, good there. I'm going to grab this and move along a bit. Tim probe. Oh, these gangly jaws hit me every time. I just grab it there. Ugh. What a tangled mess. Stop.
Gotcha.
All right, you're going nowhere.
That's unreal, Trevor.
Okay, come wide, please. Full
Coming
wide.
wide. It's coming along for the ride.
You got time. We're not moving.
Roger. I just want to, without down cam, I like to know where I'm at, you know? Could you come up on your delta, please?
You still want to slurp it?
I don't think it's going to go through the slurp very well. We could try one more time, but
Yes.
Whatever is.
might as well. If it does go through, it'll be really secure. So we could try that one more time, and then if it doesn't work, we'll move on.
Good thing about being a black coral is it has a flexible skeleton. Seems to fold okay in the currents.
What's up? Oh, good. Yeah, 2 and 2. 2 plus 2 equals extra. Can I just have a zoom in, please?
Okay, zoom
Where am I
in.
at? No, sorry.
That'd be-
Wait, I meant
Staying wide.
on nav. Yeah, my bad. There I am. All off to the side. Okay, let's do this.
There you are.
Okay, let's try again. Push in, please, Wayne.
Pushing in.
And line this up on the camera a little better. Is that full right? Yeah, it's full right. Okay, more zoom, please.
More zoom.
Keep going. Good there.
Okay. Get the focus.
And could you zoom in on bubble too, please? It's good there, thank you. Okay, 50%. Okay, 70%. There we go. Now let's watch the jar. When it's done, you can come wide, please, Wayne.
Coming wide. Jar. Jar.
A lot of hard turns.
Yeah, did you put it in tail first?
Yeah. Okay, let's pump up the jams there. Maybe 10% at a time and until it comes in. Are you on that bucket? I think you're slightly off that bucket. Yeah, why don't you zero the selection and then do the forward reverse till that's more aligned.
Okay.
So back on that other page. Sample jar forward or reverse. Yeah, that's better. Now it'll go. So now suction on to 50% or so. That's a predicament. Well, science, what do you want to do about that?
You think it's stuck somewhere in the tube?
Could be, yeah. The jars weren't quite aligned, so it can like kind of get out the side a little bit.
Do you think it's possible it escaped?
I think it's possible, but unlikely. I think it's more likely in the tube.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess we're done slurping then.
We do know what that is, so if we slurp
Yeah.
other stuff, like maybe
Okay.
it gets impacted on the way by or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna note it as a sample anyway, in case we
Roger.
find it.
Okay.
Do the thing like when a vacuum cleaner clogs, so you put your hand over the slurp,
Right.
feather it a little.
So that is something I can do, is I can pull it out and wiggle the hose a little bit. Maybe that'll help. So, can you come up in your delta, please?
Yeah, looks like we're coming up on the slope part. Looks all the debris falling off this seamount. So the only rock sap we're going to want is probably on top of here, Trevor.
Okay.
And I guess you can get a bigger one and put it in forward because they got some smaller ones. Put them in the starboard.
Okay, I'm going to try this
Okay.
slurp thing first. I'm going to try grabbing it here, actually. That might be way easier. Confirmed, way easier. Okay, could you turn the suction to 50%?
Doesn't seem like anything swirling in the jar.
There's not a lot of snow here.
So I wrote a bunch of sand, knock it through. Not how we treat samples.
I'm okay with that if you, science is.
I'm not sure what the protocol is here.
Well,
Not really sure either.
that'll confirm we're getting suction. We'll be able to see it,
Yeah.
Okay.
if nothing else.
It'd be nice to get a sand sample too.
Well, I can take a sand sample. All right, can
Coming
you
down.
0% on that, please? Okay, 70, or well, let's start with 50 again.
Oh.
There's suction going somewhere.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's white.
It's almost like a transporting thing.
Beam me up.
Schrodinger's coral,
Yeah.
both sampled and not.
We're sure that's 7, right?
I think if you turn the
Yes.
porch light off, we get a better view of the container. The cylinder, maybe. Maybe
Porch
not.
light secure.
No. That didn't help.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, well, that is what it is. So
Mhm.
I guess we'll zero it and put it back to flush, flush it out, and then run with it. Not much else we can do at this point, I don't think.
Yeah.
So you can rotate it to flush. And yes, that is 7. Confirmed.
Let's see.
Okay, Wayne, you can bump in a little bit, please.
All right, bumping in. Wide.
Thank you. Did you want a rock sample here as well?
No, we'll do it at the top.
At the top, roger. I kind of briefly heard something there, so I wanted to confirm that.
Those basalt pillows.
Yep, it looks like sheets and pillows.
So are those sheets debris also, or how'd those sheets form?
Yeah, I think they're probably just sloughing off.
Hmm.
Which are large sloughs.
Yeah, but they might be in place. I just can't tell how deep the sediments are. I mean, they could be in place.
What was our bearing there, Miles?
315.
315, roger.
And this is the third bump, climbing the third peak.
I don't know, is it the second or the third?
Miles? Is this the second or the third bump?
Third bump.
Good job. Thank you.
The thump.
Shrimp in the bottom left.
Yeah, shrimpies. Is that another shrimp on the right there? I like a shrimp.
That floating thing on the right.
Yeah.
Tim, can you talk a little bit about sort of what you expect this data to be used for as far as Fish and Wildlife is concerned, or the management of the monument or the refuges?
Sure, happy to. So we are in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument, which consists of a number of different islands throughout the Pacific. Palmyra and Kingman, which are the ones we're close to now. Also Jarvis, which we're going to. Howland, Baker, Wake, Johnston Atoll. But we don't have a lot of information about the deep sea and what's down here. So this data is going to be sort of our first look at what is out in the waters that we're protecting. So it's just going to be an important information for us to kind of know what's in the deep sea and get a better idea of what's going to be important in our management of these areas. So it's sort of our first inventory survey of this area, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Even the mapping, really adds just understanding kind of the structure, how many seamounts are out here. And although we're not directly measuring the currents, I think there's a lot that can be inferred by kind of understanding the shape of the seafloor in the area.
Yeah, the multi-beam mapping is just incredible, and it's given us so much more detail about what's on the bottom geologically and what areas might have more marine life to them.
Could you talk about some of the kinds of marine life that you see out here? I mean, we're looking at a very specific community down here, well, a variety of communities down here between the 3,200 to 1,500 meter range that we've been diving on throughout the monument, but shallower, maybe some more species that people would recognize.
Shallower is what I'm more knowledgeable about. This is all new to me. This is my first time to be on one of these deep sea expeditions. But it's been pretty amazing, the diversity of corals, stony corals, and then also the octocorals that we're finding down here. I was really impressed yesterday when we were in that sand area. I'm more of a fish person, so seeing some of the sharks that we had down there and some of the different deep sea fish. So we're going to have a whole gradient though, which is really interesting. We've actually thinking about possibly doing Jarvis Island tomorrow and waiting to hear back about the permit. But if that happens, if we do on the island, it's going to be really interesting just seeing that gradient from the deep to the shallow and as species change. Because shallow zone is going to be very different, and we have those, the light which allows those shallow water corals to exist, whereas the deep sea we don't have that. So there's no zooxanthellae adding additional nutrients to the corals down here, and we're just going to be able to see that gradient as we go from deep to shallow.
Yeah, that would be an amazing dive.
We're really limited also on a lot of the things we do. You know, for us, management-wise, we know a lot about the shallow waters because we're able to scuba dive. So we get out there and we see them, you know, on a fairly regular basis. We have collaborations with NOAA and their Coral Reef Ecosystems Division, which goes out every 3 years and does a huge survey of all the Pacific remote islands. So we have, you know, relatively quite a lot of data about that shallow water ecosystem. We know that Palmyra and Kingman are some of the most diverse areas in the Pacific remote islands, which huge coral diversity, huge fish diversity in those shallow waters. But then this deeper area, we don't get that information very often. So we don't know much about it.
Yeah, totally true. It's, I mean, we do this a lot, not dives here, but going to places that don't have previous data on it. And so, you know, I feel like it's something that I say all the time, that we're going to areas that are totally unexplored, but there are a lot of areas to go to that are totally unexplored. So it's exciting to know that not only are we the first dive on this, but last night we actually conducted this mapping survey to cruise over the island and get the high resolution bathymetry that we used to plan the dive and that we're using for some of our navigation here today. So this really is, you know, it's a fast process. This is stuff that, you know, once you're out here, you can really accomplish a lot.
Log.
And it'd be nice to have more of these dives, just to be able to compare things over time, which we really don't see. You know, don't get back to these places often enough to do that.
Tim, can you move your mic a little closer to your mouth?
Sure. That better?
That's much better, yes. Perfect. Just want to make sure we can hear you. Yeah, it would be great. I mean, we're setting the baseline in these areas, but it's often really difficult to answer questions like how are things changing, or you know, what are the impacts of different you know, seasonal cycles or
Is that
annual
something
trends.
off left center? Left center there.
Oh, yeah.
What's that looking? What are
I
you
don't know,
looking?
is that something off to the left center there?
Straight.
Oh, I see it.
left.
Yeah, yeah, I do see it. Let me line that up. We got nothing but time.
Wait.
Oh,
Oh, there's a
little cool jelly.
jellyfish up there too.
Zoom in on
one
that
of those
first,
red
might
ones.
as well.
Okay.
It's transient. We got time for both.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Can you get porch on? I think
Porch
it's
is on.
close.
It's real close. I'm gonna tip up. Keep it more in the light pool.
It's a little different than the shuttlecock one we saw the other day.
Yeah, shorter
Translucent
tentacles.
top.
They're just so cool. That looks like an adorable cartoon version of a jellyfish, right?
Hey, that looks a lot better.
That clear top is really cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Funny that.
I love it.
Wonderful.
See that great
Okay, come wide, please. I'm gonna go check out that other
great
little guy.
locomotion shot. Nice.
We got off a little bit, but
It's
let's find
actually
it again.
a nice view of all the
On our
ripples
way
coming
down.
around here too.
Yeah.
You see how there's like white patches in the sand that are a little lighter colored?
Mm-hmm.
You think
Yeah, I
that's
see those like something
disturbed
burrowing.
Yeah.
by something?
Yeah, so shows you there's a decent current going around the base of this seamount. This little volcanic peak.
Yeah. So is that from sediment moving down, or is it from current circling?
I think it's current circling, or going laterally. Yep, there it is down there. You found it.
Yeah.
It's
Right
very
there.
cool, the idea that an inclined plane has
Okay, zoom in,
these
please.
ripples
Okay,
across
zoom
it.
in.
Or is that just a rock? No,
No,
no, there it is.
There's a crinoid?
Yeah, it looks like a crinoid.
Cool.
I say so.
Okay.
Okay, coming wide. Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, a lot of these rocks look in place now, so there's some debris here and there, but it's mostly in place. Little sheet flow that it came off the top.
Is it manganese-y?
Not really. I mean, you still see these little bumps on the on some of the features.
The bumps are not manganese.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, talking to Kevin
That's
earlier.
something on the left,
Yeah, is that?
Ooh, something.
reddish.
There's
Red.
something. Go ahead and zoom.
Sea cucumber.
Zooming.
That one looks different.
Yeah, a little redder.
And kind of flattened at the base.
Oh,
Oh.
and no little ornaments coming off its back.
Mm-hmm.
Looks almost like a Spanish dancer nudibranch.
All right, come wide.
Coming wide.
Yeah, it does.
Bump in.
Bumping.
So the idea that these currents are swirling around the seamounts was one of your the explanations you posted out for how we would get moats around seamounts. How, you know, can you talk more about that? How does that, you know, how do we discover that phenomenon? Was it by instrumenting different seamounts, or is it modeling just the water movements around
I mean, there is some modeling, but it's just I mean, interestingly, this one doesn't have a moat around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it's almost like a Goldilocks effect. You need just the right amount of erosion to create some of these.
Okay.
Now, I mean, there has been, you know, some amount of modeling about current flow in seamounts, but they're usually much larger ones, and they're looking at the upflow and downflow
Okay.
of currents for fish purposes and nutrients, and they don't really look so much at the benthic thing. There's a little bit more work looking at the impact of seafloor roughness
Mm-hmm.
on currents and currents on sediment distribution, but it's still not really well known. I mean,
There's something on top of that dark
Yeah.
rock that
Go
was
ahead.
off to the left.
Off to the left.
Yeah.
You see that one.
Get the focus right.
Oh, the translucency of the body.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come wide, please.
Coming wide.
Nobody picked see-through body as their superpower.
See-through body. Yeah, there was something.
So one of the things I like about sitting in the seat in the control van, Rob, is just what you just said, that, you know, there's a little bit known, but a lot not known. And that's the answer to a lot of the questions that that we throw around the van here and that viewers ask. And I think that's,
another
find out.
crinoid to the
I
left.
think it's exciting. And it's just really real, you know? There's a lot in sea
Yeah.
cucumber just at the bottom of the frame, especially in these, you know, remote regions where we're kind of talking about characterizing, you know, biogeographic regions is what we call them for the biodiversity communities, but, you know, huge swaths of the planet when you're trying to say, you know, how are these central equatorial seamounts, you know, how can you kind of generalize about them in a biological sense, or how can we constrain what we know about them in their volcanic origin or timeline, you know, like we're saying 30 to 80 million years on some of the rocks that we've dated. So there are question marks here, and that's okay. That's why we're out here, is to slowly pick apart a few of those question marks and then make a whole bunch more questions.
90 seconds. This is my last update. There we go. Okay, good. It's fine. Standard.
Back to a full 40.
Yep. It was 40 until I turned it on, then it was 20. Then it was 200. So, that's fine. Megan, you're right. The see-through body is definitely a good superpower, and I can't believe I haven't thought of that one.
So invisibility?
No, just the
Just
outer layer.
Just the outer layer. Just
Oh.
So you can see all your innards, make sure they're doing okay.
just check on them.
Think of these savings on X-ray bills.
Plus all the people that would be really interested in knowing about your like start again, stop again heart, and you'd be able to show them so easily, Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
You just be like, here's the pause button that I hit, and then you just proceed.
Save many surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, does this look normal?
I think chromatic contourable skin like an octopus would be cool too.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's actually really cool. What color would you be?
Looks like there's something
Blue or
off to the
green?
right
Depends on
there.
my mood.
Is that a coral or a?
Actually, can you
Up
point
to the
down?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something down?
There's a starfish.
Oh yeah, there's a
Yeah?
sea star
Oh, I see it there, yeah.
Sea star. Then a couple crinoid looking
Yeah,
bits on the
yeah,
right.
crinoid. And there's something behind the crinoid too.
Yeah, stalked crinoid. I hadn't seen his stalk until
What
What do we
just
want to
then.
zoom on?
That one, my name. Zooming in.
Let me find out
Yeah.
what we want to
Okay.
zoom in on first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So is
zoom
that going to be
The
red
star?
or
Do
purple?
the sea star, yeah. First.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Zooming in.
It's going to be red or purple?
Purple. There's a happy Wayne.
That's a good question, though.
Let me get the focus.
You never can tell.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm real far away.
Yeah.
Then up the right behind the crinoid, there's another purple thing.
Oh, can we make it red?
I definitely could.
No, no.
All right, come wide,
Not
please.
artificially.
Okay,
what is
coming
that?
wide.
Yeah.
Where's the other one you wanted to look at?
Right there at the base in the upper right. There's a crinoid
Upper
there.
right,
There's
right
something
at the
purple
base.
behind it.
Okay, I see
Oh,
it.
that
Oh,
looks like a coral. Oh no, that is the crinoid.
It's one of the green crinoids. Where's it red?
Yellow.
all
Am I
right, Wayne, zoom in
colorblind?
now. I'll start with the crinoid and
Zooming
move over
in.
to the purple guy.
Oh yeah, there's
Okay.
a. Is that? Yeah.
Its shadow looks
Right
so
behind
cool.
the crinoid,
Yeah.
what's going to appear?
An enemy. Yeah, nice
Hello,
slow
friend.
reveal.
Yeah, gotta build suspense.
Yeah. Hype. Hype it.
Hype it up. All right, come on.
Very nice anatomy shot.
Coming wide.
What's your altitude right now, Trevor?
Right now, 1.7 meters and rising.
All right.
Bump
And
in,
where is that
please.
measured from?
That's measured from the back of the vehicle. Bump in, please, Wayne.
Bumping in.
You can always just bump in.
Yep.
Yeah, measure from the back of the vehicle. So when I'm on a 45-degree slope, I could be reading 2 meters of altitude and still be driving the front porch into the sand.
Snowplow.
Mr. Plow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's something right there. in the
Yeah,
middle.
right on top of the
Right.
lasers.
You want to look at that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what that looks like.
Okay, go ahead.
Pushing in.
Looks more
It's like a
corally
coral.
looking.
Yeah.
Pathies.
Yeah,
That
okay.
same one as we
Yep.
sampled? Or it's similar to?
This one looks like he's actually on the rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
No
anchored.
hook leg.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Hook.
No Captain Hook.
And a crinoid for good measure.
There you go.
Oops.
Always a crinoid. You got to throw one in.
Yep.
Sprinkle them around like compliments.
Peppered.
It's nice.
All right.
Okay. Coming wide.
This is our deepest dive so far of the
Ooh, there's
expedition.
another big anemone right there too.
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah,
zoom on him.
nice.
Zoom in.
Some
the long
sponge.
tentacles.
Yeah.
So deepest dive so far, the expedition started, launched about 3,200 meters and have been climbing since then.
All right, come wide.
Coming wide.
Move along.
What's giving that rock the
There's something
texture?
floating there too. What is?
Oh yeah, sorry, I gotta move
Oh,
along a little
yeah,
bit here.
that's fine.
I think it was a shrimp.
Yeah.
We scared something.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Wow.
What are you?
Oh,
What
that's
were
a big
you?
cloud.
Come back.
Be our friend.
We want to be friends. This sizable.
There's the prevailing current.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mind the high-pitched sound we're making at your house.
But again, the current doesn't seem like it's moving very fast at all.
Wayne, you can bump in.
Sorry.
Bridge, nav, 2 more steps.
Megan, what does Herc sound like underwater if you were a fish?
I don't know. I mean, fish ears are not my superpower, so I mean, there's
Bathypathy right
Zoom
there
in
to the
there,
left.
please.
You could approximate it with what you hear.
Zoom in there, please.
Yeah.
Zooming in.
everybody knows that you want me to make this sound right in your ears right now.
Oh no.
Is that a different one?
Yeah, that's a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Should we grab it if we can?
We can if you say so quick.
Let's do it quick.
Okay, come wide, please.
Coming wide.
Interesting.
Looks like another black coral.
Yeah.
I'll probably grab it and shuffle, Miles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boop, touchdown.
Yeah, what are you? Some kind of black coral here.
Zoom in, please.
Zooming in.
Good there.
That's good.
So he would probably go through the slurp.
Yeah.
Probably, but there's already interference. Come wide, please.
Coming wide.
I don't
Look.
need to move along yet, but I will before I need to.
Little log jam.
Yeah. The beaver dam up in the slurp jar.
You think that'll fit in one of the smaller compartments on starboard firebox?
I think so. That'd be a perfect spot for it. Can you turn off the port cathexis? Thanks.
Yeah, looks like this is a header path. This is Pacific Americana, sorry.
You can try turning it back on.
It's
see
a
what happens.
floaty one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great. It's a neat feature.
On that last zoom, those sand conglomerates are probably sponge skeleton that had blown down. Sponges, while they're alive, are filtering water, moving a lot of water through their skeleton. They're filter feeders, although they're stationary. They generate their own internal currents, moving water in through their pores and out through the osculum. But once they've died or
Get
got
ready on the
knocked off,
starboard box, please.
they, because of their
And give me
porosity,
4 on bubble.
they end up really accumulating a ton of sediment.
Can we go in C if possible?
Say what? Oh, so Charlie, yep.
C, Charlie.
As you're watching on the quad, you've got a view around.
Okay, go ahead and open it.
Around where you see Hercules start to come into view. Or you'll start to see the predator arm come into view. So reaching back around the shoulder.
Is it Herc Bub?
It's port.
Or Port Bub?
Current's being a
Sorry.
real pain here.
I'm going to start floating up here.
There we go. That's a better one.
Okay.
Gotta be fast. That's very floaty. Ah, man. Stressful now. You might have to come up in your delta.
Yep.
Ah, man. It's a tangly one. Oh, wait, close it. Ooh, hold on. Get in there. Come on. I think so. It's not a big deal, I guess. Okay, keep coming up here, Delta. Oh, no, it's snuck out. Are you kidding? How does that even happen? All right, you got to close the box. We did not get that sample.
Okay.
Okay.
There might be a little bit in there, but it fit in that tiny little crack. Okay.
Okay.
You think it floated out?
Yeah.
Okay. No sample.
Yeah, there was like a,
Yeah.
instead of the, 10 square inch hole, it fit into the, come wide please, Wayne, full wide.
Coming one.
Instead of the 10 square inch hole, it went into the half-inch slot. Like, do that twice, there's no way.
Yeah,
So
but
there
Yeah.
may be little bits of it in and
yeah.
around, but it was really, really floaty. I
Yeah.
killed all my thrusters.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
was not enough.
Sounds like, Steve, that's pretty well sampled and pretty widespread. So
Okay.
if we had to lose one, that's a good one.
Okay, perfect.
So you know we're counting that as a sample?
No.
No. So reusing 42?
Yes.
I should have raced that target.
Huh?
Okay, bubble on front porch again, please.
So Rob, viewers want to know what generates deep sea currents. You got to answer.
Well, there's a
Tell
couple
us
of,
everything.
a couple of different ones. I mean, you have the surface currents,
Mm-hmm.
which are primarily wind driven.
Oh,
And
there's.
so you have the trade winds and all the different easterlies and all these sorts of things driving the wind pattern.
Can we zoom on that anemone rock?
And then you also have thermohaline
Just behind us?
circulation, which is
Yeah, there was
the
something behind the
temperature
anemone I wanted to get an image
It's
of.
like the deep
Roger.
circulation patterns that we see the water moving around, cycling over 2,000 to 3,000 years through the entire ocean. What's interesting around this part of the world is that the winds at the surface, as well as prevailing piling high of water to the west of here,
Let's leave the port
you get
capex
some
off for a little
interesting
while.
counter currents that are underwater and deep. So you have a surface current going one direction, then you have a
Zoom in,
counter
please, Winnie.
current going deep
Zooming
in the
in.
opposite direction.
Hmm.
Well, that's nice.
All right, we'll come back
Yeah.
to that.
And you can also have odd currents occurring along these internal waves.
Okay, pushing a bit more.
So at the picnic line, you can actually have interesting currents occurring there.
Interesting. I want to come back to that. Steve, do you have an idea what this might be?
Yeah, this is Chrysogorgia.
Okay.
Okay, come
Should we
wide,
get it?
please.
Does he want it?
So we've extensively sampled this in the Pacific. I just wanted to get a better image so I could confirm with my notes.
Okay.
Hold
Really?
on.
Gotcha.
Bump in, please, Wayne.
Bumping.
Bridge nav. 2 more steps.
Okay, Rob, so tell me more about internal waves that happen at the picnic line.
Well, anytime you have a density contrast, like at the sea
Mhm.
surface, you have something moving, you can get these internal waves occurring. And they can drive some sort of circulation. I mean, down here, I'm not sure there's any internal waves this deep,
Okay.
but there are some shallower. And there are actually some quite large ones off the coast of,
Is that a fish on the left?
fish on the, off the coast of Washington, Oregon, too.
Hmm.
Got it. Don't know what that fish was.
Yeah, I saw the fish. I mean, I'm not there. No.
Rob, is this planned to be the deepest dive of the series? Is there a Jarvis target out of our couple dives there?
I think we're gonna have a deeper one at Jarvis. We may try to do like a full.
Oh,
But-
that would be cool. That we'll start way low and then go
Yeah.
all the way up. Okay. That'd be really neat. But this is the deepest so far, for our viewers at home wondering about that.
So internal waves, my understanding it's that salinity gradient that they're running along, and then what generates the actual wave along that gradient? Tide?
Yeah, I mean, it's just any sort of disequilibrium. You know, a pressure difference, water level difference.
And they
Actually,
move across the ocean?
Yeah.
So it's not that something causes it and then it perpetuates through
Yeah.
there. Do we know if there are tidal impacts down here on the seafloor?
Well, there
Or
are
is it detectable?
a little bit,
Okay.
but out here in the middle, we're in an area called an amphidrome.
What's that mean?
So it means that's where you have minimal or no
Mm-hmm.
tidal or water level change.
There's something dead ahead.
Floating, yeah. So you
Yeah.
can zoom in on him.
A squid?
Zoom it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sea cucumber.
Sea
Sea
cucumber.
cucumber. Oh,
Oh, neat.
translucent. What has it been eating?
Whoop.
That would be a good superpower.
Yeah.
Look what I ate.
That looks like
Correct.
our yoga cucumber.
Yeah.
Totally.
It does. Touch your toes. Touch your heels. Touch your toes.
All right, come wide, please.
Coming wide.
Translucent snakes would be pretty cool. See what they
Bumping.
Oh, that would be cool.
Wide.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What would be the coolest see-through creature? Next introduction question.
Grasshopper.
I feel like grasshopper is like an example where, like in scientific illustration, where you do a cutaway, end up in textbooks and stuff. I feel like there are lots of
Yeah, totally.
insect ones.
There's so many different holothurians.
Mm-hmm.
Bridge, nav. 2 more steps.
So we have no tidal effects in the deep sea?
No, I think there are some, but they're not
Not
as
major.
extensive.
Yeah, it depends area by area. There's work, you know, here there's not a lot of tidal height variation, so you know any impact would be expected to be pretty small. But up off the coast of British Columbia, out in the river vent fields, there's work and interest there, asking questions about whether the actual venting volume, the fluid flow out of it is impacted by tides. And there's a much bigger tidal variation. So they can actually see some of the signature in some of the currents throughout the vent field. So
But is that due to the water level and pressure changes, or is it due to the tidal flow?
they're looking at some of both. I think some of those questions are unanswered, but as we were out there, I don't remember the specifics of their particular research, but they were seeing these cyclic patterns, and we're trying to pin it down to where it was coming from.
Another sea star?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little
Ooh,
bit
that's a
water
cool
there.
little plankton.
That one's cool.
It is cool.
It's like one of those baby jellyfish ones.
You can zoom in on him, Wayne.
All right.
Very cool, Jolly.
Almost looks like a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Is it raining outside?
Hold on.
Sounds weird.
Yep.
Yes. I concur.
You can see it's raining at camera 5.
It's looking 11
You like 5?
and 5.
Squall action. I'm impressed you can hear that. I just hear like an air conditioner over my head. I definitely can't hear. Water on the roof.
Bridge nav. 2 more steps.
There's something on
Still
top of that rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like this is on top.
Mm-hmm.
A sponge or something. Or carnivorous tunicate.
Should I push in?
What are we looking at?
The
Yep,
top of that
the
rock.
floaty.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure.
It's like right in the center.
Huh?
What are you?
Oh, is that one of those carnivorous tunicates or something? Or
Yeah, maybe a
Has a
stock
stalk.
sponge with some.
yeah.
That's a tunicate,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
but there's a coral in the tunicate.
Yeah.
Coral in the tunicate.
That
You mean
little
a branch
brown
of a
thing?
coral?
Can you can you slurp that?
Potentially, maybe. I'd
Come wide.
have to grab it, then slurp it later.
It's just a really cool observation. I've never seen that before.
Full wide, please.
Yeah, the tunicate would have sucked that in.
Full wide.
And it's like a 2 or 3 for 1.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might be real cloggy. Can I put it in a box?
Yeah, it's probably a little floaty.
Yeah, it's probably big for the slurp.
It's super squishy.
You think it'll go? Okay. Well, we can try it. Oop, boop. Zoom in, please, Wayne.
Zooming in.
Okay, come wide.
Really
Coming wide.
interesting.
Full wide.
Can you line me up on jar 2, I guess?
Okay, we're gonna go back to our suction sampler. The jars are up above the, sort of tucked behind the light bar, so you can think about kind of up on the eyebrow of the vehicle. Just an underwater
Okay,
vacuum
can I get bubble on
cleaner
that
here.
slurp jar? Or sorry, the thingy, the nozzle.
Oh.
There's a little
Zoom in, please,
isopod
Wayne.
in jar
Zooming
1.
in.
That's awesome. Little associates came in with the sponge.
Okay, go ahead. 30% maybe to start.
Are we on 2?
Mhm.
Yes, confirmed. 2. Okay, maybe 40%. Come wide, please, Wayne.
Coming wide. Full wide.
Thank you.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Nice.
Adam.
Okay, 0%. Come up on your delta 2, please.
Yep. Wow.
So I have an update on that. I actually, after looking at the symmetry, I don't think that's a coral inside. I think that's just reproductive structures, but it's a good sample.
I was kind of like, that's a very symmetrical thing. But I believed you, Steve. I was here. So a gravid to get.
Okay, you can flush at your leisure.
Bumping to wide.
Stand by.
Oh, sorry.
And
Another
okay, you're good
crino?
now, Wayne. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, bumping to wide.
Or is that
Wide.
anemone? I think it's anemone straight in.
Oh, yeah.
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 And can I get bubble on porch, please? And we're done. Whew.
Oh, there's,
Bottom right, there was.
yeah, I see the pink.
Mm.
Just went out of frame.
Yeah.
Center, another
Crinoid
pink,
there.
and a shrimp.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
on
what
the
is-
left, a little roundy thing. Oh, more anemones.
Sorry?
Oh, more anemones on the left. We just passed them.
It's okay.
It's just me. I can't really hear you, Tim.
Oh.
Looks like sponge.
Any better?
Yeah, it's better now. Wayne's adjusting your thing.
That's sediment.
Yeah, overall, not as high of coral density down here so far. Which is interesting, but also somewhat expected in some of the patterns. We know there are some sort of prime coral zones, and anticipated being on the
Oh,
deeper
further
side
down
of
the bottom
them as we climbed up the side of the seamount. Okay, so Rob, the texture on these rocks you're expecting is just from the original basalt from the
Yeah.
flow?
Yeah.
What temperature does, what temperature are volcanoes? What temperature would this have contacted seawater at? Are there different types of temperatures of volcanoes, I guess?
Yeah, I know it's probably over 1,000 degrees. For some reason, 1,500 comes to mind, but
Okay.
Celsius? Fahrenheit?
yeah, I think Celsius, maybe 1,000 degrees Celsius. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Moon waffle units?
Right to the right of the laser. Is that?
Yeah,
It's
there's
just a
something.
rock.
Yeah,
It's just a rock. Well,
or is that a? Yeah, there's a lot of illusion stuffs here.
There's definitely some rocks to the left of the lasers.
something on the top of that one.
Yeah, that might be something viewers could look up.
That's something to the left of the lasers?
To the left of the lasers.
Or is that just more rock, just above the lasers? That might
I
just
think
be
it's
more rock.
There's some rock. There's
Just
a little
darker
thing,
rock.
But there is something off the left there.
thing up there. We can zoom on
Yeah.
that. We haven't seen something
Yeah.
in the last 2 minutes. Go ahead and zoom.
Zooming.
Crinoid?
It's a crinoid.
Yep.
Yep.
Very nice.
A red one.
Confirm crinoid. All right, come wide.
Check.
Wide. Bumping. Wide.